performance, and Trump said, I felt he was fine. But then he said, I think I had a defective mic. My mic was defective within the room. I wonder, was that on purpose? Was that on purpose?
Wow.
Did anybody notice? Towards the very end.
Picked up the sniffling. That's about it.
Right. Towards the very end,
it was very active in the mic.
I noticed there was a difference in the sound of the mic. For a long time, when you heard it, you could sort of hear it reverberating around the room a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then towards the end, it was like they switched the sound. So maybe that's when they were having some problems. Then it blocked out all the room noise.
Oh, really?
And his voice was much clearer for a while. So I don't know. Maybe he has a point.
The sniffing has been the big takeaway on social media from the debate last night. And I thought the sniffing went away at a certain point. And then it came back again.
Came back. It did. It was in the first half an hour, there was a lot of sniffing. And then it did rear its ugly head towards the end again. And the late night shows had a field day with the sniffles, including CBS's Stephen Colbert.
Trump sounded like he was fighting off a cold with cocaine.
We have to renegotiate our trade deals. And Lester, Mexico.
He sounded like the coked-up best man in the bathroom at a wedding. No. You guys, I got it. I know we can fix the entire economy. Let's all go in together. Let's buy a boat. Yeah.
And The Daily Show, also on the cocaine train.
There's a reason I think Trump didn't do well. I'm not sure, and I'm not trying to start rumors, but Trump was sniffing a lot in this debate. And someone needs to look into that.
Perhaps we'll be talking about that later. Hundreds of companies are doing this. Our country's in deep trouble. I want you to be very happy.
What was that about, Trump?
Now, again, Jamie, you say the polls or the reactions. Are you sniffing, Stoney?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to give full props, by the way, to the production people at The Daily Show and Colbert, because
they didn't have very much time.
That show went, the debate ended at it ended past 10:30, probably ended around 10:40-ish.
Yeah.
And the fact that Daily Show airs at 11 and Colbert airs at 11:30, that's some pretty good turnaround time to get that bit together.
They were probably
impressive.
Editing during the debate,
No doubt, yeah.
I would imagine.
Doubt, yes.
The other thing that I didn't think of, I kind of forgot about it, but he was also drinking water during the debate, which is totally fine. That's what it's there for.
Yes.
And you said, actually, Lester Holt, in addition to needing to step up a bit more during the debate, needed to drink some water because he had cotton mouth.
He sounded nervous. And I would have been nervous, too.
How could he not be?
But he sounded like...
Yes.
Was that Lester Holt?
That was Lester Holt last night.
Oh. It sounded like Lester Holt. And I thought, yeah, he could have used some water. Now, somebody said that he had water at the desk. I'm sure he did.
I think everybody was given some water.
It didn't seem like he had it because he seemed very cottonmouthy.
Access to it. So they made the decision to do the split screen of each candidate so you could see what their faces looked like as the other person was speaking. So during a lot of the time that Hillary was speaking, you could see Trump was drinking that glass of water. And several Twitter users called him out because if you remember at a campaign rally earlier this year, Trump had mocked Senator Marco Rubio's infamous rebuttal to President Obama's 2013 State of the Union address, during which Rubio repeatedly swigged from his water bottle.
Which was far away from him, that he had to reach for. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, people were saying that karma is a bitch because now somebody else needs water. Trump will be in town this week, by the way. He's making another campaign stop. He'll be at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi on Friday. That event starts at 5 p.m. And then
that'll be some nice traffic on 96 going west. Huh? Wow.
You have a big event at the Suburban Collection, and it's going to be messing with traffic for sure.
Is there going to be a gun and knife show there as well? I mean, they could get a kind of a two-for-one thing going there.
I know.
You could show up in a few years for Comic-Con.
By the way, the big, right now on Twitter, the number one trending topic in Detroit at least, and I think nationwide as well, is hashtag Trump won.
Really?
WON.
Wow.
But I clicked on the hashtag to see what the tweets are, and almost everyone is mocking the fact that Trump won. So what happened is somebody started the hashtag Trump won.
Yeah.
And now everyone's saying, this must be the dumbest thing I've ever seen to suggest that hashtag Trump won.
Huh.
So somebody just tweeted, everyone tweeting about how outraged they are that hashtag Trump won is trending, is the reason that hashtag Trump won is trending. So I don't know if America believes Trump won or if they're believing that the notion that Trump won is a joke and they're tweeting about that.
Well, that makes my head want to explode. Now,
Did you follow what I just said?
Yeah, I did. Monday Night Football was going up against the debate, and they didn't have a chance in hell as far as ratings were concerned. But if you watched, you did get to see something that was interesting. The New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons put their own little spin on the NFL's growing pregame demonstrations following the playing of the national anthem at the Superdome. The players and the coaches from both teams joined hands and formed a huge circle midfield, and I guess it was orchestrated by Drew Brees and Matt Ryan. The Miami Marlins honored their late pitching ace Jose Fernandez last night, a day after he was killed in a boating accident. His teammates took the field at Marlins Park before their game, and they were decked in jerseys with his last name and the number 16. They all stood holding their caps over their hearts as a trumpeter played "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and then players from the teams hugged each other. Marlins players converged on the pitcher's mound to rub dirt on their pants in honor of him. And this is a moment, if you watch the video, it's hard not to cry every time you see it, especially towards the end. Dee Gordon, who's normally a lefty hitter, had the first pitch at the bottom of the first inning, and he did it right-handed in honor of Fernandez. And then Gordon switched to his normal left side and on a 2-0 count launched his first homer of the year, and just crying as he's running the bases, crying as he gets to his teammates and hugging them. And Gordon said, "I ain't never hit a ball that far, even in BP. I told the boys, if you all don't believe in God, you better start. For that to happen today, we had some help." And then the Marlins did win 7-3 over the Mets.
It was quite something. It really was. I mean, we're all so cynical and jaded, but it was a very emotional. I mean, it really, to watch that home run, watch his reaction, watch the crowd reaction, it makes you believe that there is there's a certain magic to baseball. And it sounds horrible to say because it comes in the aftermath of a man losing his life, but it really was. It was amazing. It really was.
I mean, you saw like the pregame when they all huddled around the mound. That was pretty touching too.
Yeah, it was. Stoney mentioned this earlier, and we just tweeted out on our Twitter account, Jamie and Stoney. There's a really hard-to-read article in Yahoo Sports by baseball writer Jeff Passan about the last night of Jose Fernandez's life and about how, his friends were like, "Oh, God, don't do that. Don't go boating. You can't see anything. The tide might be bad. It's very dangerous. Please don't go. Please don't go." And he went anyway. And so it's a tough read, but if you are interested in it, we just tweeted it out on Jamie and Stoney on Twitter.
The city of Charlotte had a tense city council meeting last night. The room was full to capacity, but it was a little girl who captured everyone's attention after her passionate speech. Ziana Oliphant had to use a step stool to be able to reach the microphone at the podium, and she was crying as she spoke and told the crowd, "It's a shame that our fathers and mothers are killed and we can't see them anymore. It's a shame that we have to go to their graveyard and bury them, and we have tears. We shouldn't have tears. We need our fathers and mothers to be by our side." This was the first city council meeting after the police shooting of Keith Scott, and many residents called for the mayor and the police chief to resign, neither of whom said that they have any plans to do so.
I thought that was a very empty part of the debate last night, was that conversation. And I thought they kind of dealt in platitudes and not in real reform.
They did, and then they kind of went to the stop and frisk stuff.
Stop and frisk and support the police. And yeah, that doesn't address the entire race issue. That at the core of everything is this growing distrust, and I didn't think they really touched on that at all.
Well, she said there was like bias for everything. Remember that part?
Yeah, but yeah.
She said that not just police are biased because Lester Holt asked her that. She said, "I think all people have some form of bias."
To me, that's a cop-out, though. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think at one point Trump or Hillary, I forget, one of them said, "Yes, we all want safer streets. We all want..." Of course we do. The question is, you're trying to be the leader of the free world.
How do you get there?
Right. Can you try to get us there somehow? So I find that to be a little bit empty. We'll see if we get back to it. There's 2 more debates to go and a presidential, easy for me to say, debate as well.
Does anybody even care about the vice presidential debates? I mean, people will watch.
Yeah.
But you talk about, not switching anyone's mind on the presidential debate. The vice presidential debate nobody would switch their mind.
No, it won't be as good as Sarah Palin.
I was going to say, yeah, because you don't have a character like a Sarah Palin. I mean, one of the vice presidential candidates, I don't remember which, I think was on Kimmel last night, and they had a harmonica contest between the two of them.
Oh, I think Tim Kaine plays the harmonica.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's about it as far as
about all you know.
Personality. The two of them, you don't really get too much from either.
All right, coming up next, it's time for our Tuesday segment, Lions Leftovers. We look back at the Sunday game with another day in the rearview mirror to try to come to terms with exactly what happened. It's Lions Leftovers next. Jamie and Stoney on 97.1 The Ticket.